And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm John. With me as always, Tyler.
Hello. You know you said same time, same place last week when we were on the couch.
Yep.
It's not the same time. It's like an hour. I guess it's the same time, but it's an hour later because it's daylight savings time.
But doesn't the podcast come out at the same time?
Yeah, well, I've been playing around with some time stuff. So if you are listening and you're wondering why sometimes the podcast comes out at different times, sometimes I get very busy.
Yeah.
But other times we're testing like what time is the best
slot
interaction. Yeah.
Yeah. That is fascinating.
Yeah. I was reading some guides and articles, but
yeah, there's a ton of research that goes into that.
But there's Tuesdays at 5:30 a.m. Believe it or not,
been our best.
Has been the best. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
of course.
Sure.
We're hitting that international audience at that time.
It's fair, technically. Yeah.
So, yeah. Daylight savings time still makes no sense to me. I think it's something about farmers, but I'm not 100% sure.
I thought weren't we abolishing that?
Abolishing it?
Yeah, wasn't someone running on that?
I thought they were talking about it, but I'm pretty sure it is important, though.
It's like the antenna from the free television.
Yeah.
Where they were going to kill that for years and years and years, and every time they were going to, it's like, we're actually going to push it till February of next year, and then it's like, we'll wait till November, and then we're going to push it again. So,
you think it's a conspiracy?
Just give people hope?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You know?
It's the light and dark is all weird, right? Like, wouldn't it be after so long it almost like flip anyway?
What do you mean? Like because of...
Yeah, because it's like what?
Well, it depends where you're at.
And a quarter, and so yeah.
It depends where you're at on the Earth.
Yeah,
because we're a sphere.
Yeah, well,
depending on who you ask.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. It's just like I know they kept talking about how they were going to just kill it.
Yeah, I never know, and I still don't really know the purpose, but I'm pretty sure it's because of crops or something.
Sure,
it makes sense. Sort of.
My clock on the wall will finally be right.
Oh, really?
I think
I never noticed.
It's like. I don't even know what time that is. That's not correct.
What do you mean?
I mean, it'll be
It's almost 6.
Yeah, but what time is it?
Almost 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an hour back.
Yeah, but doesn't that hour hand look like it's past the 6 already, and it's not even 6? Oh,
whatever. No, I don't think so.
Okay, it might be my angle.
That's why any clock, and I do this on watches too, I like when it points.
Yeah.
Because I don't want any
doubt.
Any doubt.
I want a tip.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I want a tip, dude.
Sure.
It points to the number.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, happy something day. Time flip day. It's Tuesday. It's actually election day.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh, really happy that this is going to be over.
For all those people listening to us on election day. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting so many text messages and like mail. People are just leaving things in my mailbox, dude.
You
it's
think
crazy.
You're getting mail.
You getting a lot of mail?
Yeah.
Like Harry Potter mail?
Harry Potter mail?
Like the owls sending it through the...
Yep.
That was a good reference.
That was a very good reference, yeah.
You like that?
If you like Harry Potter.
You don't, though.
It's fine. I respect it.
Do you respect it?
Yeah.
You hate Harry, though. You hate Harry Potter himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character in Harry Potter?
Ooh, Luna. Lovegood. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is there a particular reason?
No.
She's kind of spacey and
she's kind of this weird, whimsical person. Dig it. She kind of like marched to her own
little Ed there,
drum.
Maybe.
A little bit from
not as
Cowboy Bebop,
not as manic, but
yeah, no, she's a little more subdued than that.
Like I guess like you have the core group, and it's the odd one out. In a way,
yeah, it's like everyone else took the world so seriously, I guess.
Yeah,
and she was just kind of like,
"This is a joke."
Yeah, like whatever, what's going on? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I watch people die, so there was a little darkness there. There's a little darkness, but yeah.
What was her mom or something, right?
Something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
But then her dad betrays Harry and stuff. It's like
spoilers, I guess.
That is spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, because they threatened his daughter, which is very similar to our last session of D&D where the two scientists It threatened their family.
Yeah. Had to throw that in there, so you guys felt a little bad.
I don't think anyone felt bad.
No.
I felt bad.
Yeah.
That's
The audience is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. It's too much to explain. Oh, man.
D&D just devolves into just murder everything.
Yeah. I mean, technically, we're in enemy territory, though.
Now we
So
are,
it's like-
so you can't, it's like free reign, go ahead and murder
We got
everything.
into like the red restricted section
Yeah.
on the map. Good.
You don't have to kill everyone.
I tried to talk.
Yeah.
And I got a tablet thrown at my face.
Well, there are some people that are just a little grumpy in the dungeon.
Hey, that's fair. If I worked in a dungeon all day, I would probably be grumpy too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think. So anyways, what have you been up to, man?
Thrown out all the election mail.
Yeah,
Hitting stop on all the text messages. Nothing. I've been. We're officially in holiday season at work, so that's been a nice
brutal
thing. It's kind of weird because I always think that like holidays done like a month before it actually even starts. So like in my mind, like once like all the Christmas stuff is like done in terms of like production and things like that, it feels like Christmas is over, and that's usually like 2 weeks before Christmas.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a weird thing. Like I love Black Friday. Like that's my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
It's just Black Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your favorite holiday?
So I kind of like mesh Thanksgiving into Black Friday, but like
interesting. That's why you're so high on
span-
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Thanksgiving. So I do this thing, and I don't know if you do this too, where if I have a lot of like good things lined up in a row, like that first one is always just like this warm and fuzzy feeling for me. And I know I'm butchering what I'm actually trying to say here, but like Thanksgiving is like the pregame almost to Black Friday, which is just like chaos.
Yes.
And I love it, especially if I don't have to buy anything. Like if I'm not actually like, oh, I have to be right here to hit this thing. It's just like, it's like I'm not Spartacus. Who's the guy that's like going through the wheat? Is it Gladiator? Was that the thing? Was it Gladiator or Leonidas or someone?
What?
I'm like this really jacked dude.
Wait, what?
Hold on. It'll make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm this guy.
Yes.
And I'm just walking through a wheat field or like a meadow field, right?
Sure.
And I have the sun on my face, and I have my hands and the fingertips are just licking the tops of all the wheat.
Yep.
And imagine all the wheat are just like people fighting and all the hustle and bustle of like the Black Friday, right? And I'm just like above it all.
Yeah.
That's how I feel on Black Friday, where it's like I have the day off. I don't have to worry about it. I can go out into the world, but like I'm just there to like witness.
Yeah.
Like I'm not there to like actually like grab anything. Like if something falls into my lap, right? So like a couple years ago, it was like, oh, you have a PlayStation in stock? Sure. I guess I'll throw some bones down and get that.
Yeah.
And you might leave with like a deal, but it's just like, that's my favorite holiday. I love that more than anything. And then that's why Christmas depresses me, because that signifies like the end of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
The dream's over.
Pretty much.
So do you still go out on Black Friday and you go to different stores and stuff? That's cool.
I think last year, I can't remember if we did anything. I'm sure Chelsea and I went out last year, but yeah. I mean, we used to go out as like a giant like friend group, and it would be like midnight, and we're at Best Buy. And
that seems exciting to me.
Yeah. Most stores don't do that anymore. Most stores open at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I would totally do. I would like
in the morning.
I think my ideal thing would be, and I have a kid now, so I have no idea how this is going to work out.
Yeah.
My ideal thing would be you do the Thanksgiving thing. You go home after a huge meal, go into a coma, sleep. Let's pretend I don't have a kid right now.
Okay.
Wake up at like 4:30 or something. Go to McDonald's, get like a really nice breakfast.
Yeah.
And then
is McDonald's open at 4:30 a.m.?
Not anymore. Now I think they're actually open at like 5. But okay, whatever. Go at 5,
sure.
and then you just go and you go on McKnight or go to Crate or whatever, and then you just start going in all the shops. And
no, I do miss that too. Although like when I used to go, it wasn't really for Black Friday. It was more just for Christmas in general, we would go to like the department stores.
Yeah.
Like Kaufman's downtown.
The mall's great.
Or the mall.
Yeah.
Well, we never went to the mall, but like department stores.
Yeah.
But
well,
like Macy's
Macy's are in the mall. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I always like doing that because I have these memories when I was a kid. Like we would go with my mom and we'd just like run around the store and stuff, and we get a picture with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't like that part, but still did it.
Yeah.
I actually like, dude, well, this is probably my older brother's fault, but I didn't believe in Santa Claus like very early.
I never have a memory.
I don't think I ever did.
I completely am with you.
And I think a large part of that is because my older brother is super analytical. Like he's a scientist, so
Yeah.
from a young age, his brain was always like that, and so he cracked the code really early.
Yeah.
And so I was like attached to the hip with him. So I was like, oh yeah, he made a really good argument, man. He's
Sure.
like, do you know for Santa Claus to get around the world and visit everyone, it would be like blah, 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 blah. I'm
Yep.
like, that doesn't seem possible. You'd have to go faster than the speed of light. And I was like,
Yeah.
Einstein have a problem with that, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I was like 7, so I probably didn't say that. But I was like, oh, yeah, dude, yeah, totally. He doesn't
Yeah.
exist. But then I would get torched at school about it. And it's crazy, dude. This is probably like a good psychological experiment because everyone would try to convince me that he did exist, right? Because
Yeah.
in their mind, he was so real that they would just make fucking shit up like all the time. Like, oh, I heard him, like I hear him on the rooftop and I
Yeah.
saw him once and this and that. And I'm like, dude. Like thinking back on it, like that's crazy. Like if you get enough people to buy into something,
Yes.
they will make it real, dude. It is wild. It is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never. That was a big tangent.
No,
But I did get a
that's-
picture with them
sure.
every year.
Yeah.
At the
I
mall.
did it one time and I hated it so much. I never had to do it again.
I would always cry, dude. It was
Yeah.
bad.
I think I ruined it one Thanksgiving, and my little cousin was there. Oh, she's not little anymore now. She's like going to college or something. And I think I just said like, "Oh, like when did they find out Santa Claus wasn't real?"
Oh no!
Because I was talking about like my
Yeah.
niece and nephew or whatever.
Yeah.
And her face and my cousin was just like, "What? Like, what are you doing?"
Yikes.
And I was like, "Oh, that was a whoopsies." Yeah. That was
yeah,
years
that's
and
not
years
good.
ago, but yeah, I was like, okay. And then I've learned to just keep my mouth shut. And
Yeah, I find keeping your mouth shut typically good.
usually a
Typically.
good, yeah, a
Can't
good-
hurt yourself with that.
across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to do that. I've been trying to try new things.
Uh-huh.
Trying to see other people's perspective.
Okay.
So
Give me a for instance. What's
okay,
a-
well, yeah, not yesterday, Wednesday when we were at D&D. So, context, Jeff, my very good friend, our very good friend, he has a very different philosophy when it comes to sharing food than I do.
yeah.
Where which makes sense. Like his philosophy makes sense. Like if someone offers, if you asks if you'd like a piece of something or a bite of something, right? It's up for grabs, right? Like that's not like a fake offer in his mind. He's a genuine person.
Yes.
In my mind though, and maybe I'm just like a heartless bastard, it's like generally just to be nice.
Yeah.
Although I typically don't offer anyone my food just because
Yeah.
I want
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Usually, like not usually, like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll offer anything. So like the thing that I wasn't vibing with is that I think there's a hierarchy of foods that are better to share than others, right?
Yes.
Right. Like a bucket of fries is easier than like a sandwich or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like my brain doesn't comprehend it, right? Anyways, I was trying to, like in good faith, I had like a sub I was eating before we started. And I was like, Jeff, do you want a bite of this? And at first he said no, because he's
Yeah.
like, you don't really want it. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, are you sure? And he's like, all right, I'll take a bite. He took a bite of it.
Yeah.
And it killed me inside.
Yeah.
But, I'm trying to see out how the other people live.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Dude, I was sitting there and there's a bite out of the end of my sandwich. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck. This sucks.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I think.
But it made him happy, which is good. Like that made me feel good. It's like I'm glad you're happy.
Yeah, until
Jeff.
he listens to this and realizes that it wrecked.
I know. I told him.
That's
I
fair.
was like, that killed me inside. Like he knows.
Yeah, but you're growing.
I'm trying to at least.
But now, so next session, you gonna offer another?
I'm never coming with food again.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it was a good. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe like if you. Jeff will eat anything, so it's like if you're gonna offer it, he's gonna accept it.
No,
Maybe I need to just be more thoughtful about what I bring something more shareable. That might be the play.
Yeah,
Like a 20 McNug box.
just bring a giant tub of cheese balls.
Yeah, I should bring
you
a
go.
giant cheese balls.
Yeah.
Like I never crave cheese balls, but
Until they're
once
in
you have
front
that
of you.
first one,
Oh, it's over.
over. It's
I
game
had
over.
I had that one. I still think about it.
That was the most psychotic thing I think I've ever
Yeah.
seen in my life.
I had enough calories. I could have one cheese ball.
And you did
which
it,
was
and
like
you shut
40
it off.
calories or something, and then that was it. Yeah.
Shut the valve off, which I don't know how you did. That was
Sometimes
truly
you
impressive.
gotta take you do a line of Coke, and then you're like, okay, can I just stop there?
Wow. That's quite the
I've never
philosophy.
done that. I'm just alluding to the fact that
Yeah.
cheese balls are
Essentially,
you're
equivalent.
teasing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm starting to like I'm still holding strong,
Yeah.
but I've kind of cracked into like this is only 1420 for the day instead of 1400. Like I've started blurring the
Loosening a
lines a
little
little
bit.
bit,
Yeah.
but then I saw slower results
Yeah.
of like wait, so I gotta like button it back up. So like
Button it back up.
yeah, tonight I'm buttoning it back up and stuff. But
Yeah, I didn't drink for the entire month of October.
yeah, you'd say you can drink.
Today I can drink,
Yeah.
although I'm not going to.
Good. Okay.
I lost 6 pounds, like not even, I don't want to say not even trying because I have been kind of conscientious of that, like not going out, but I haven't been
Yeah.
tracking like hardcore.
yeah.
It's like alcohol destroys you.
Yeah. And sodas and everything else. Like it's just
I
like,
don't really drink soda or
That's fair.
anything, but like you have so much, like you're like whenever I get hammered, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I have like 10 beers, that's like a whole day's worth.
And then being drunk is just like
You
oh,
eat it.
I'll just eat whatever I want.
Yeah,
it doesn't
it's that
matter. Like who cares? Like it makes
additional
me
effect.
feel good. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
You become your inhibitions.
Yeah. That still haunts me. So like whenever I was at the soccer trip, I was drinking and I was just I don't say I was drunk because I don't think anyone really got like super drunk, but I was feeling good enough that when Kyle made queso, because I wasn't gonna have any queso,
Right.
But boy, did I was like
your willpower was destroyed.
oh my gosh, I
And
was
you
like
had
I just
it. Yeah,
crushed
yeah,
a
yeah.
bowl of queso.
Yeah.
It was the queso and the chips and the
Yep.
it was just like that's the only thing that I was like I'm gonna say upset because it was like I think I only gained like maybe a pound over that, so I felt good overall. But like that was really the only thing that I was like, oh, I broke my willpower there. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
When's is the wedding? Like
Devin's wedding?
Yeah.
2 weeks from yesterday.
So
yeah,
there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So like the wedding, you're gonna go crazy. Eat a
well,
whole
it's an
bunch of
open
good
bar.
food and stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I got to make sure I'm not drunk before the speech, but after that,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you need to. There's like a fine line. You need to have maybe
Yeah,
like loosen
for-
up a little bit.
for Calvin's, I had a really good spot. I think I had like one drink,
Yeah.
maybe I was like 1.5 because I had a drink in my hand while I was doing it.
Okay.
But I was at a really good spot where I was comfortable but still articulate.
Yeah.
And so I hope to be. This is going to be a greater test though, because there's going to be a lot more people. Calvin's wedding was pretty small,
Yeah.
intimate, which maybe is harder for some people. Not for me though. I'm more comfortable probably in that setting than like 100, 200 people.
Yeah, I guess it depends.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't write my speech out. I kind of formulate a structure,
Yeah.
and I'm really good at just talking through it.
Which is crazy because when I wrote mine, it was literally like I don't know if I necessarily put like pause for hopefully laughter or something, but like something to that effect.
really?
Or like I had like things in bold and all cap.
Wow.
Like I literally like just spelled everything out. Yeah. I
don't
had
know.
to.
I think my music experience really helps me in those kinds of settings, because even at work, right, when I'm giving a presentation or speaking in front of a group, I'm really comfortable with that. and pretty thoughtful. I think a lot of it comes naturally as well, just due to that experience about kind of the flow and pace of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Emphasizing incorrect areas and, giving pause and breath, you know what I mean? So it's, I think I do really well with that. So yeah, I'm hoping to kind of leverage that. Although, like, I guess something that's different is like in music, typically you have your piece, so you have all the notes. In this circumstance, it's more like jazz, where you have you have the head they call, which is like the melody, and then you just solo. Yeah, so you have the key changes, but just go for it. It's somewhere in the middle because it is like I have specific stories.
Yeah.
But man, I think about it so much because I want it to have an arc and I want it to have themes.
Mm-hmm.
And so like what I'm struggling with right now is I have the building blocks of it. Like, here are the stories I want to talk about that kind of showcase Devin's positive qualities and how he's impacted my life. How can I connect that to have a steady, or maybe like a through line that connects everything, right?
Yeah.
What's that theme? What's that thematic component that connects and binds everything? As well as I need to kind of implement her as well.
Yeah.
Somewhere into there.
Well, see, that's why you kind of do the fiancé, you do the bride
first.
Just get that out of the way. Because
The problem with what I'm doing though is it's chronological.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, you do you.
Yeah.
You're the jazz player. The way that I did it is it's like, okay, like the bride has somebody that's doing a speech about her.
Yes.
So it's like you're essentially like.
Doesn't the guy go first though?
I don't.
Did you go first or second? You went second, actually.
I did go second.
Yeah, you went second.
I could not remember.
I went first.
Yeah.
When I was doing Calvin's.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'd rather go first or second. Probably second. You want to go clean up.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Why?
For cleanup? It's how the end is. Like that's like you're ending on that. Or you know what? Maybe
my end is my weak point right now. I don't know how to end this thing. Like I'm not like I get to a certain point and I'm like, how do I wrap it up? And what's the underlying point that I want to finish on? So that is what I'm working on.
My underlying point was, hey, all these qualities that some people might find bad about.
Was yours? Yeah. I don't even remember yours. I do remember you crying, which I want to bet
all
on.
The time. I cry. Yeah. It's doesn't matter.
But also, I remember with yours, it was very specific. You had multiple stories. The one that sticks out to me is when you were in a rough spot and he was there for you.
Yeah.
Which is definitely one of his best.
Well,
qualities.
that was the overarching thing is like it's
the consistency,
if it's like, oh, hey, if you could describe Nate with like certain things. I took all the negative qualities.
Yeah.
And then spun them how it's like, oh, these are all.
That's funny because his speech for years was similar.
Well, hey.
Nate's speech, I remember Nate's speech was, I looked up what you're supposed to do for a good best man speech.
Yeah.
And I found in my speech I did all the wrong things or something. And he kind of like went through.
That's how I started mine.
Yeah.
I did the classic Webster defines.
Oh yeah.
But I did Webster defines cliche and then defined cliche.
Yeah.
And then no one laughed. You could hear a pin drop.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Wedding Crashers. The best.
Yeah.
Like in Wedding Crashers, like one of the girls is giving a speech for the maid of honor.
Yeah.
And Owen Wilson's character, like they've been to 1 million weddings. So his advice to her was always go from the heart, never try to go for comedy.
Yeah.
The best advice if you're ever giving a speech, probably if you're ever giving a speech, it's better to be serious than to try to throw humor in there, because what I found is humor will find, like, you'll be surprised at some points where people will laugh.
Yeah.
And you have to just go with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than you have these set jokes. And I'm not saying that they never work. Like, they can definitely work. If you have a really killer joke, definitely throw it in. But I think the general advice is go serious, go heartfelt. Definitely more, you'll get more success from that, in my experience.
I just said that was a joke, killing it, and then I just kept moving.
And then you got ha ha ha.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's always like
You should have had. Oh, you should have had a backup. Webster defines bombs as. You know what I mean? That would have been good.
yeah,
That would have been good.
dude. I was still
Little
editing
ripcord.
like maybe 10 minutes prior.
You don't
Or,
you don't
before we
like
got in there.
the public speaking.
Oh, I have no problem with public speaking. It was specifically the best man speech.
Just because you want it to be
Yeah,
really
it was just like,
done
hey,
well
yeah,
and-
you just if anything with like maybe, hopefully no one from work hears this. It's just like from like work and like meetings or presentations or things like that. Like I have no problem just talking off the cuff too and stuff.
letting
Yeah,
it rip.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Or even like this. I mean, like we've done 100. What are we at? 162
Yeah,
episodes. So it's like, yeah.
getting ready for 200. I got that watch picked out.
I was thinking about that the other day. So you said 200 was the magic
200,
number. Okay.
yeah.
So next year.
Next year, it's the Doxa 200 meter sub 200, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's called. And I think I'm going to go with the yellow strap.
Nice.
I was really debating. I like the metal bracelet, but I think you're right. I think the yellow strap's a little bit more unique, more flashy.
I mean, that's just me.
I know. I mean, I really was torn. It's not like, oh, I love one over the other. I was like really on the fence, but I liked you were convincing me. Not that you were trying to, but you were convincing me because it's like, oh, like you'll probably be one of the only ones with it, right? Because everyone's going the other way and it's more couch company.
And you already have, you have the metal strap or the metal strap.
Yeah, I do. Although I need to get another one because the one I have is really shitty. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love watches. Anyways. Yeah, no, I was getting really nervous I still am. There's always going to be
Sure.
that part of it. But what helps me is to put myself in the mindset of this is for Devin and Molly, right? I'm doing this for them. It's not about me. Like I'm trying to remove myself from it, which has helped me. Maybe that wouldn't help other people. Maybe that put more pressure on them. But for me, it's like take your ego out of this. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're just trying to be there for him.
But that's what I'm saying is I think that's the thing is I don't want to ruin a wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though that is,
maybe
I guess, kind of egotistical to think
maybe
that you
that
have
won't
the
help.
ability to do it. But that's why I was just like, this has to be perfect.
I'm in a good spot because people have such low expectations of me that they think I'm going to be really vulgar. Really? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think a lot of the people, not a lot of the people, some of the people that are going to be there haven't seen me in years.
Sure.
Like
Yeah,
since
you're a
high
different
school
person.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Definitely. Although, like, I was talking about this with my friends maybe, a while ago. But I think out of all of us, like in the friend group that I have, I've probably remained the most consistent.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I'm like I've grown. I've matured. Definitely.
It's been a decade since you've seen some people from high school.
100%. But the essence of who I am is like, I don't know, man. I've always kind of been me.
But I also think that you are
I don't think it's a bad thing, by the way.
Like
I don't take that as an insult.
Whenever you and I first met, like I thought you were very mature for your age.
Well, when I meet new people, I want to give a good impression.
Yeah.
Definitely. And also, we had a great board game experience.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's just I always go back to this. I probably said this on here before, but my professor in college always used to, like, I would get nervous for things. He'd be like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I mess up. I ruin the wedding. He'd be like, nah, dude, you could die. I'm like, oh. Yeah, I guess if that doesn't happen, we're really coming out ahead, right? So
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, if you died, that would probably ruin the wedding.
yeah.
Like I'd put it.
Well, yeah, I'd ruin the wedding and I'd be dead.
Yeah, it'd be a damper.
It'd be a double whammy.
Yeah.
So
Can you imagine that? It would
I
be
died?
like, well, it's like, oh, hey, it's our anniversary.
yeah. Oh, my best
Also
friend died.
Oh man.
Yikes.
Okay. Well,
But that's probably not going to happen.
yeah, way
so
to
it's
make
like,
it about you.
what's that?
You made it about you.
I
It's
would.
just
That
like,
would be
yeah.
the selfish move to die during that. That would be pretty brutal. But that probably won't happen.
No,
And so
I'm sure
it's
not.
like, I don't know. That has always stuck with me. He would always say that to me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, fair enough. Like, the point of it obviously is like, this isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. It's like, yep, you're right. Absolutely.
Oh, it'll be good. It'll be fun.
No, I love weddings. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Probably not. They're like super stressed. So it's like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, like planning it doesn't seem fun at all. Going to it is always fun. Generally.
Yeah. If you had, like, having good wedding planners, or just having a really kind of understanding with you and your spouse, so like it helps a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Chelsea was super cool with a lot of stuff, and I think we did a fairly chill job.
Yeah,
we only had a
yours
few
was great.
things that were like, oh, hey, it has to be. I mean, the thing was like, hey, short ceremony, and make sure that no one gets rained on or something. And it was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
that's it, and good food.
I was surprised that were your parents upset that you didn't have it in a church?
Well, I
Not to get too
don't-
personal.
No,
sorry.
I don't think it would have mattered about a church. I think,
a minister.
yeah, something maybe closer to that.
Yeah.
I think having Gerard do it probably helped a little bit, I would say, because it's not like we just had like you weren't up there just like doing it as like some young kid or whatever. Not that Gerard's necessarily like this old guy, but it's like Gerard has an air of seriousness and like and he had the Bible. He did, so it was like there was like
Yes. Right.
a religious aspect to it, because
Right.
that's from day one. It was like if one of our friends was going to do it, it was him, because it's like he takes that seriously, and we
Yes.
wanted to be serious about it.
Of course.
So I think that was fine. I don't
Okay.
think they were like, oh, you had to do it in church or
Right.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Interesting. Okay.
I
'Cause
think. I don't know.
Yeah, my mom would be upset
Yeah.
if it wasn't in a church with a pastor.
See, and I think me personally, and
Yeah.
maybe Chelsea was a little different. Like, I don't care. Like, I would have had it in the church, but
Yeah.
like for me, it was like, what are things that I hate about weddings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I hate long ceremonies.
Yep.
I hate doing the whole wedding thing in an uncomfortable space, and then having to drive somewhere else for the reception and figuring
Yeah.
out parking and doing all that stuff again. And
Right.
all that. So it's like,
Right.
how do you basically just wipe all of that away and just make it like a fun
Yeah.
party, hang
Yeah.
out and see people
Yeah.
that you love? So
Right.
that was kind of the methodology of,
No,
of breaking that
I
down.
loved going to your wedding. It's definitely it was one of the best nights that I probably have had.
But
I had a ton of fun.
helps
It was
when it's
just
your
great.
friends. Like
Of
I
course.
had so much
Of
fun
course.
at Nate's wedding. I had so
Yep.
much fun at John and Lindsay's. And it helps when it's like you're not going to someone, like your parents aren't taking you to a wedding
Yes,
type of thing. Like
right.
it's like
You know who's
Yeah.
getting married.
right.
You're in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
there's
that definitely
too.
makes a
Yeah.
difference. No, it was great. Yeah, I really loved yours. It was just super chill, super. I think you guys, one of the things you and Chelsea are great at is you have a great sense and awareness of the public, not perception, but like what people want, right? Like
I mean, I'll take your
you
word
put
for it. I
you
don't
put
know.
yourself in the shoes of like, well, here's what I don't like about
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put anyone through that. And I think that's really thoughtful. And,
I hope.
and people like
Yeah.
that. People respond well to that.
The thing is, though, and this will be the same for Devin and Molly, I'm sure, you're not going to remember any of it. Like, it's going to go
Yeah.
by in like 2
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah.
You're not actually going to, like, I'm not saying we didn't enjoy it, but it was like
It's work.
your whole night is
Yes.
just making, like, saying hi to everybody.
Thanking
and
everyone.
Yeah, it's not
Yes.
like I'm going to play cornhole with you.
Nope.
You know?
Wish you did, though.
Yeah,
Had a great
no,
game.
yeah.
So they say.
But that's the thing, is it's just like, I think I had a beer.
yeah.
the entire
look,
night.
it's work. You're
Yeah.
hosting
Yep.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just like when you look at it from that perspective, and again, it's nice to see all the family and everything, but like, could you also have rented like a mansion somewhere and just did like an intimate like friend group, just like
Yeah.
weekend getaway somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems much better, but I don't know. Is that unfair to the rest of your family or whatever?
Well, that's what I mean. We were originally going to go down to like Florida and do it down there, but then certain people couldn't. So it's just like, okay, well,
I like the idea of a destination wedding because it's like, okay, well, only the core people are gonna go. So I like that aspect. And then if you go somewhere really nice, you can just stay there for the honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a double punch.
Yeah.
But it's expensive. And yeah, I don't know. Is that unfair to like people who are like, I'm really close to you, but that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it though.
Time, place, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be good though. We'll see what happens. I need to like finalize this speech over the weekend though. I really need to like buckle down and
feel good about it for a week so it's not hanging over your head for.
Well, I need to do it and then I'll have the adequate time to practice
polish
it.
And yeah.
Because I practiced Calvin's quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like, I guess in a way you kind of have it memorized instead of writing it down, but it's flexible because I'm not.
Because it's jazz, I get it. Yeah. No,
Well, it's not really. See, jazz is a little bit more fluid, so it's hard for me to. Yeah, it's more like, you know what it's kind of like. It's kind of, man. What is it specifically? Like Baroque. There's like some Baroque music that's not. It's improvisation, but it's much more strict than something like jazz. So it's more like that, where there's pretty tight rules, but you have options. You know what I'm saying? You've been there?
No, I've been there, done that.
Like voice leading? Yeah. If you know, you know. I don't know. I might have wasted my money on my degree.
No, it's fine.
Nah, I got a scholarship, so
that's awesome.
I don't regret going to school for music.
It makes me a little sad that I've never heard you play.
Ugh, yeah, I'm so bad now though. I'm like, I'm so rusty.
Well, it's weird, right? Like it's like I've never actually, even like at like a party or something. It's not like you just like whip out a trombone and start going.
Yeah,
to town,
if I could go back, I would play like piano or something. 100%. But you can do that at a party though.
Yeah, but then you're a jackass. Like it's not. That's like somebody who just grabs a guitar and starts playing. No one likes that.
Yeah. Oh, guitar players. Don't get me started, man.
Especially left-handed ones.
Well, I'm not gonna say that.
I'm just kidding. I don't think Mike listens to this, but it's
I'm not gonna say that. But guitar players are like, they're technically musicians. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
they can.
It's so mainstream that like it's very fringe.
Yeah.
It's very fringe, man. Like, dude, there's a lot of guitar players that cannot read music.
Oh yeah,
they just do like the guitar tabs, and like I'm just like, ugh.
They know how to play
sound like an elitist
songs,
and maybe I am, but
sure.
It rustles my jimmies, man.
It does make me upset. Where like I think if I went back, I could relearn how to read music fairly quickly.
Yeah,
like,
come back to you.
Yeah, but it is a little tough to be like, oh, it's been a while. Like I wouldn't know, like, you know, well, I guess I wouldn't know all the lines and all the notes, but
it'd come back. You'd be surprised.
If I read it, I could play the clarinet.
Yeah. If you spent just a little bit of time, it would come back to you. It's like riding a bike. It's like anything else.
Riding a bike's hard, man.
No, it's not.
It's so hard.
You can't do it?
I
if you got on a bike, you'd be able to ride a bike.
I would be wobbly.
Yeah, but
wobbly.
You'd get
wobbly
there.
Guy.
You'd get there. Well, dude, wobbly is you're not going fast enough. You got to have the faith. It's just physics.
I don't have faith. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, well, that's why you should have got married in the church.
Okay, fair enough.
Just kidding.
I didn't want to go down that path when you're talking about Santa Claus, and it's just like, yeah, and then everyone just started believing it, and it was just like, huh, that sounds.
I was thinking that my
like we can't
brain
get
was in the same
theology.
place.
Yeah,
I just imagined some of the listeners like, see, this is what I'm talking about, man.
Religion. Yeah,
but you can do that for literally anything.
Everything.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know.
Yep.
Like, what's something that's like, you know, Elden Ring, for example.
Yeah.
Like one person says it's really good.
Yep.
And then
suddenly everyone has to say it's
I'm trying to think of something that's super overrated. I'm not saying Elden Ring's overrated. That was a joke. What's a game that's like, like Dragon's Dogma?
Yeah.
That's a game where it's
Everyone's
like,
drinking that Kool-Aid. That's
It's like, well, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, you just don't understand. It's like, it's just not a good game.
dumb. Yeah.
I can't wait to get into that on our Game of the Year discussion.
Will it
Because
even
we have to talk about it.
biggest disappointment or like
Sure, like whatever.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
you have to talk about it because
That's fair.
it's going to be nominated for Game of the Year. For sure.
You want to bet?
Yes.
What do you want to bet?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger?
Yes.
All right.
It's going to be good. 100%.
Nominated for Game of the Year.
Yes.
I will bet you a cheeseburger that it is not.
Okay. There's usually like 6 nominations?
Sure.
It's going to be Final Fantasy.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be
Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Yep.
It's going to be, what else is there? Final Fantasy.
I think
Astrobot.
Dragon Age will be part of it.
Mm,
It's a BioWare game. It's been forever. I think that'll be up there.
okay, fair. That's like what, 3?
Yep.
Maybe like a dragon. That's 4.
Maybe.
You think
Metaphor?
Balatro? Metaphor, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5. You think Balatro would get nominated? Or would Astrobot kind of take that? Not that Astrobot's like a small game, but
same thing. Because the one's a first party like AAA title, and the other one's indie.
Yeah,
game.
but it's like
you might see a Balatro. I would be
Balatro.
surprised, but like
the last one like that was kind of like Hades, I think, or something.
yeah.
Although Supergiant Game, are they pretty large? They're probably larger.
They're larger now.
I mean, it's one guy, right?
Supergiant?
Then yeah, the guy who made Balatro.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just one guy.
Is it one guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then yeah.
What is it? Local Thunk or something?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I should know
something
that.
like
Out on my phone, or I'd be looking at like what the top games are. But
I just read a list. It was like 10 things. Maybe it's still on my Safari. Do you use Safari?
like they haven't announced it. Like, do you?
No, they didn't
Okay, I was gonna
announce
say, like,
it.
do you just know that Dragon's Dogma is part of the conversation?
Well, I just think it. I think it.
Dude, I like. We still have Indiana Jones coming out. We still have.
Yeah, but is Indiana Jones even? Indiana Jones is coming out like 5 days before the event.
Oh, then it might not be.
Yeah, it might not be eligible.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I can't think of because like Black Ops, I don't think is going to be.
No, I would be surprised. I mean, who knows? Maybe like I think that's going to be in your like best multiplayer game or something like that. It'll just be like a kind of
Yeah, it'll
boring-
get nominated for something.
Oh, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
Helldivers too,
yeah,
and Black Myth Wukong. I forgot about those two.
Yeah, I don't think
Silent Hill
Dragons-
2 also.
That's what I mean.
Really,
I don't think Dragon's Dogma is even part of that conversation.
It was so high up there. People love the game.
I
All right, so Polygon has Astrobot, Metaphor, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Balatro, Silent Hill 2, Dragon Age, and then Dark Horses is Like a Dragon, Dragon's Dogma 2, Helldivers 2, UFO 50, Animal Well, Legend of Zelda,
I forgot about UFO 50. Yeah.
and then other Dark Horses, Prince of Persia.
Here's my thing.
Warhammer.
If Zelda wins anything, I'll be upset. Like that. So
Oh,
Zelda
interesting. Okay.
Zelda this year is my Stray from last year.
Same level.
Same level.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It does
I didn't know
not
you were
deserve,
that down on
it.
it.
Doesn't deserve. No, Stray's was good. It
Doesn't
was
deserve
not
anything.
winner of any, unless it was like best cat game.
Yeah.
Like
Best game where you summon objects.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Zelda does nothing that is like
New.
or even like it's just bad on multiple levels.
Interesting.
Like I was going through our list on the site, and I think I'm up to speed and up to date on everything now.
Okay.
But like when I really sat down and started, like I was moving scores around and stuff. Like I was like pulling scores down because I'm just like, did I like a little bit removed? Like,
Yeah.
did I like this game? I'm like, this game was like bad. Like I was forcing myself to play this game.
Yeah, this similar things happen to me as well. Where the more removed I am, I'm like, man, like I look at my Final Fantasy score, I'm like, man, is it that good? Especially when you start talking negatively about it, I was like, fuck. Did I like?
Yeah, but I'm pretty high.
But
on
then you
Final
started
Fantasy.
trying like liking it, and then I was like, okay, good. Okay, good.
I get Final Fantasy. My thing
Yes.
thing with Zelda is like when I come up against like an unlevel surface, right? Like I'm walking down a path and then I have to like get up on a cliff or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every other game known to man,
Known to man.
I would hit the jump button
Yes.
and you'd get up on the cliff.
Correct.
But with her,
I gotta summon a table.
I have to summon it. I have to like go through this and hopefully
Yeah.
I have and luckily I do usually have a table or a bed or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
And it's like I actively, and it might be for a split second or whatever, but I actively am like, man, this is
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to do this.
Yeah.
I know what I have to do,
Yep.
but it's cumbersome to do it.
Yep.
That's the core aspect
Mechanic
of that entire game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was like a light bulb went off, and I'm like, because I think I had it like a 76 or something. I'm like, well, it deserves a silver. I'm like, no, it freaking doesn't.
Ooh, interesting.
It does not.
A little
So
sneak peek
I
score.
dropped that.
And the thing is too, you get all of these various objects. Maybe I'm not far enough in it, but I don't use 95% of them.
No.
Like I never use any of the pots. Why do I get these pots? What are they for? Or the sign or like whatever. And then like the enemies that I use a handful. Not even a handful, like a couple.
Yep.
Like the spider that crawls on things, super OP. And then the knight in armor is usually my go-to.
And you can literally throw it out and then
Spam it.
run over and grab the person you're trying to attack, like all the normal enemies.
Yeah.
And just hold them in stasis
I didn't know you could do that.
and just drag them
That's
into the dude.
crazy.
It's just like, what are
I
you
didn't know
doing?
you could do that,
like,
yeah.
what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was going to be more like, things counter each other. And there is some of that, but I thought it was going to be a little bit more strategic where it's like,
bloated.
oh, you're really going to have to use like this flower pot. You can use this in a really clever way. Like this will come in handy in a certain situation. It's like, no, it's like, nope, just trampoline, bed bridge.
It's the bare minimum. And it's like even Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, hey, you did a cool thing and spent all this time like designing something. Cool. That's a blueprint. Even if it was like, hey, I want to stack a bunch of beds and trampolines so I can get up a certain height or whatever. If you could save that as a blueprint and have it on a hotkey, and when you go to a thing, just be like, oh, boom, here's a blueprint, and you just do it.
Mountain climber.
That'd be fine. It's just like, it just seems so, it was tedious. It got so tedious. I don't know why I started going off on that, but anyway.
Well, you
my
don't want it
thesis
to be
is,
nominated.
if that's nominated for anything, like you can't even say
it's going to be.
But
it's
like
going
you
to be.
can't even say like, oh, best, like
It's
the classic
it's the-
best family game. Astrobot kicks the crap out of that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even close.
Right.
So
So it'll
like,
be
where-
nominated for that because, like, what else are you going to nominate? You're going to nominate.
Best Nintendo game.
Well, no, you're going to nominate for best family game. It's going to be Astrobot. It's going to be Mario Party. It's going to be maybe Mario Brothers. That's coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
And then it's going to be like a Legend of Zelda, probably or maybe some other things that maybe we're not thinking of. But
Yeah,
that's not usually like that. You know what I mean?
I guess.
And they love just throwing Nintendo nominations.
You gotta keep Nintendo.
Got to
happy.
keep them happy or whatever. It's got to give them a little nugget so they can put it on Twitter. Like last year, 2 years ago, Starfield got nominated for one thing, and then they were just blasting it all over. So like, so proud of proud, like nominated for
Great.
best RPG. It's like wasn't even close.
Nope.
It just shouldn't have been nominated, dude. It's like you were never winning. Like in a perfect world, the nominees would all have a chance to win. Like, oh, I could see it winning. Or if this was a different year, I could see this winning. Right? Those should be the two scenarios.
In a perfect world, best ongoing game is not freaking Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Just because you release a broken game and have to fix it to save face, that doesn't give it that you don't get credit for having it be an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's more of like a best comeback, maybe.
You shouldn't award that.
You shouldn't be
like
rewarding.
you should not be rewarded.
Well, I see both sides. Like you should. The game should just work, but it's better than the alternative where the game doesn't work and then they give up on it, and then we don't have an incredible game like Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but you don't get
2077.
rewarded for it. Like there's a difference between No Man's Sky, who has come out with like 15
No,
games.
there's-
No, there
there's
is.
not.
No, listen,
There's
listen,
not.
listen,
No.
listen. Here's the difference.
Okay.
Here's the difference.
Here's the difference.
No Man's Sky,
Yep.
still going on.
Yes.
Everything they I don't think that they should be awarded anything for meeting what they showed off as. Hey, here's No Man's Sky. Here's everything we wanted to do.
Okay.
But whenever it's like 25 expansions later, all free, all completely revamping everything and going, like, no one can argue that it's like well above and beyond whatever they initially promised.
Yep.
There's a difference between Cyberpunk coming out with one DLC,
Yep.
a good one.
Yep.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not disputing that.
Right.
And then immediately they win that award and then stop development on it.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
I get that.
So
it's not the fact that it was a broken game on launch, though.
No, well, what I'm saying is, like, doing an expansion isn't. I don't think that's the spirit of best ongoing game. Is like, hey, we have been just putting out content over and over. Like, I feel like it's like we are taking feedback and they are. And maybe I'm just misinterpreting, but the spirit is like your Fortnites, your live service games, your things that people are maintaining and spending just their entire work weeks, like, continuing to serve things up. Not, hey, we haven't heard from Cyberpunk in 2 years or whatever. Oh, they've been working on an expansion.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. Okay.
There's a difference there. Even
But to be
Diablo
clear,
is better.
It's not. So in your argument here, you have to remove the fact that the rough launch shouldn't impact it. Then you should still be able to get rewarded.
For what?
Because initially your argument was Cyberpunk launched broken and then they fixed it. Was one of your pieces of your argument.
Right, but what I'm saying is, so like the two streams,
I
right?
understand your other piece where it's like, okay, they stopped and that's not in the spirit of the award. I get that one and I agree with that one. But if you're being consistent, No Man's Sky started rough.
100%, but No Man's Sky wasn't even in the conversation until years later.
Right.
Because they kept doing other things.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that should be the award.
My statement was, if your consistent development of your game is nothing but fixing your game, that is not an ongoing game. That's you trying to fix stuff. Similar to, like, I would even argue, like, because here's what's going to happen. Starfield is probably going to be on there for best ongoing game if they continue.
Do you think so?
Probably. If
here's
that's
the
what
problem
they're
with that
do it.
category, though, is that it's going to be all. It's like if it's what you envision it to be, it's going to always be the same games. It's going to be Fortnite. It's going to be Diablo. It's going to be League of Legends. It's going to be Valorant. It's going to be,
but that's the only, because, like, and that's fine because those games are like
Overwatch, right?
Sure, yeah, but like they need something. Like, people are pouring time and effort in their lives into that.
Yes, I agree.
So
if you want to make that every year and then Fortnite wins 5 years in a row, sure.
I don't think Fortnite would.
No, okay. I mean,
but it encourages, like, kind of like because otherwise, if it was up to me, it would be that, and then it would be like best expansion or best
Cyberpunk
add-on.
should have won. There should be a best DLC category.
Yes.
And Cyberpunk should have won.
Yes.
I 100% agree. Because this year, Elden Ring should get props for its DLC.
Yes, but Elden Ring is not an ongoing. Like, it's not an ongoing game. I think that just
I agree,
defeats
but
the purpose.
They're trying to lump
category.
that into it.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be nominated for that.
Probably.
Which I agree. It should be two separate categories.
But then, so then Alan Wake. You know what I mean?
I don't think the DLCs did as well, but sure.
But what I'm saying is, then that would be like Alan Wake would be a DLC, not an ongoing game.
Correct. I think yes.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Now,
because
Diablo, different. Diablo could do both. Diablo could be an ongoing game because they come out with seasons and they keep changing the things. But it also came out with an expansion this year.
That is an interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it could be both. Yeah.
Diablo deserves something, I think, this year.
Okay.
I
haven't played it.
So. I think they turned some stuff around.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested. I could see Helldivers winning something, like maybe best multiplayer. Something like that.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and this is why this year's, I don't know how we got on this topic, but it'll be interesting, and I think when do they announce all the nominees?
I don't know. I was looking for it.
It's got to be
soon because it's December 12th is the show. So
Helldivers is
You
going
would
to
think
be
a month in advance at least.
Helldivers is going to be interesting because you're going up against like Pal World.
Yeah, you're going up against
and-
Pal World, Black Ops. What else? Multiplayer this year.
I mean, you have Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Yeah,
It's
like,
not going to win. Shouldn't win.
it shouldn't win. Yeah, see, that's the thing is it shouldn't win, but things are going to get nominated because I think it's a
Multiplayer is always tough though because it's a lot of the multiplayer games are those ongoing games that don't count.
yeah.
And so new games that have that big multiplayer component aren't as common.
They automatically get kind of bumped.
So I think it's kind of a
I mean, Black Ops is sitting. He keeps going up and down between 83, 84.
yeah, which is solid.
Like that.
Yeah. No, Black Ops should definitely be nominated for best multiplayer. I haven't played the multiplayer yet, to be clear, but
Yeah, we might be eating our words here, but
we might be eating our words. But
yeah. Speaking of,
yeah, speaking of Black Ops,
I beat the campaign.
yeah, I'm in the middle of it.
It's like 8 hours.
Yeah, I'll be able to cook through that, and then I gotta get to Astrobot. My goal is to have Astrobot done by our next next episode. Session.
It's kind of like a session.
It is
It's
a
like
session.
therapeutic.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I think so. I need to get that done. But if I can knock out 2 this week, that'd be great. That'd
Yeah.
feel real good. Because then I got the long ones though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I got the Outlaws, Metaphor. That right there is like 100 hours. And then
Yeah. It's funny because I was, like I said, I was updating.
Did you ever beat Star Wars?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever get up from that gambling game?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought your character was like just
No, I'm on like the
she
probably
said,
the last
"Screw
act.
this is my life now."
No, that would be.
What if that'd be a
that'd
secret
awesome.
ending? It's like
That'd be
just
great.
degenerate.
Be great.
Yeah, you just sit there.
You gotta fight Lando, or not fight him, but like play him. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those like I was looking at all the ones at the bottom because if we haven't set something up, I just put a little question mark just to kind of signify that we're playing it and that's going to be going to it. But I was looking at them like, dude, how are you going to get through a lot of those games? It's just too many. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna like. I need to call a week off of work and just grind it out.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know. Like Metaphor is going to. I don't know how I'm gonna finish Metaphor, but I gotta play it. It's like right up my alley.
So I know we're talking about Call of Duty. I will say Dragon Age. I'm kind of digging it. Like the start of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah. The character creation is probably one of the best character creations I've seen.
Okay.
The way that they're putting everything together, and it's very involved and very like a ton of options, but also pretty streamlined
Okay.
for like class creation. It's like, do you want to be a warrior? Do you want to be a rogue? Or do you want to be a wizard?
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, I can pick one of those 3. It feels a lot more like and I don't want to like talk it up too much, but it's like it feels a lot more like Mass Effect than I was expecting. And like,
In what way?
I kind of dig it. Well, it's like it's just like it's you. Like you're not jumping between characters or anything.
Right.
It's not yet.
Yeah.
It is third person. It's a little bit more action oriented. So when I say Mass Effect, it's a little bit more on the Andromeda side. But like you pull up the overlay, you can set abilities to like, okay, hey, I want you to jump kick this person. I want you to shoot this person, whatever. And like it feels pretty good. It feels a little twitchy, which I like. And ironically enough, I think the warrior actually feels the best because it's just like very responsive. You're in the thick of things. It's the classic, like you're like hacking, slashing and stuff. And you have a sweet shield you can throw, and like it runs really well.
Yeah.
Like on PC. And
Yeah, I saw Digital Foundry was very high on it.
the hair
a technical
might be the best
standpoint.
hair. Like,
Ever?
it might be.
I don't know. Horizon's hair is great.
Horizon's hair is really, really good.
Yep.
I will say the way that this hair is implemented, maybe it's not like the best, like from a picture standpoint, but like those like long, because Digital Foundry does like the long curls or whatever, but like the physics with it and stuff,
Yeah.
every single strand of hair is like rendered.
Wow.
And it's like, man, it's finally.
Does it make your machine cook though? Is it pretty demanding?
No, not really.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's running like
Wow.
really, really fine.
That's what always amazes me is like how, and I don't know anything about the details of how this happens, but it just seems some games are so efficient with how they use like their assets or like where the quality is.
It gets down to like what's being optimized for what.
Right.
And it just seems like, for all intents and purposes, it seems like they actually gave some love to the PC.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and it shows.
Yeah. Like contradict that with, or compare that with like Call of Duty, something where it's like,
Yeah, Call of Duty, like, okay, so anyway, Dragon Age, I think it starts off strong.
Yeah.
I think the voice acting, because like in the back of your mind, and we've talked about this, it's always like, how is this going to go up against like a Baldur's Gate 3?
Yep.
And I think it is distinct enough that like, okay, it's more cinematic, and it's a different perspective and a different thing. So it's like it divorces itself from like, oh, RPG. Again, I'm not far into it, but it like, I'm not even thinking about Baldur's Gate. I'm not comparing and contrasting the two currently. So we'll see how that goes and continues and stuff. But I'm happy about that so far. But going back to, Call of Duty, it's like, the fact that you launch a program and you have to sit through the launcher and then you have to click on, oh, I want to play Black Ops. And then Black Ops comes up and you say, okay, I want to play campaign. And then it says, okay, well, we're going to shut the launcher down.
Yep.
And then open up a different launcher for you.
Yep.
That is insanely bad. Like, it takes 5 minutes just to get into the game versus just like double click and launch. And
horrible.
Go. It's
but
terrible.
I see the vision, and I saw this when I launched it for the first time because they have that Activision like logo thing that completely rips off Marvel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing. Like, that to me tells me everything. They want this Call of Duty universe, this connected thing. That's why you can play Modern Warfare 3 in the same, like, it's all there. Like, I see what they're doing. I think it's a horrible idea, though. I just, like, and it doesn't, like, maybe if it ran well, or it was seamless.
Or it was fast.
Right. I could be on board and like, oh, that's cool. You can just get to everything. But you're exactly right. It takes forever to even get to the first screen. Like, it loads, and then it's like, your loading time, like in the bottom right-hand corner, might take a while because we're shit at this.
Yeah. It literally says that too. It's like it's depending on your machine.
Yeah,
it might take
your
longer. Like,
fucking peasant ass machine. Yeah, it's like, oh, really? Is that what the issue is here?
That's the problem.
Super unoptimized. Like, we talked about optimization and efficiency. Like, this just seems like so. And I wish I knew more about like coding and things like that, because I'm sure if I had that knowledge and was able to dive into it, my intuition is telling me that it is sloppy, or like they're just trying to like put band-aids on things because they're trying to build on top of what they, like, the structure they have, or
like it's so bloated that it's like, well, in order to be able to like break up the installation sizes, that's how we had to do it. Like, and if that's the case, it's the case, but it's just like,
I don't
it's
know.
a bad thing, man.
I was going through the code because I try to input everything into Alien Command Center, so that I can adjust the specific settings for every game, which is pretty cool because I can like change my lighting and stuff and like my fan speeds. But on Xbox, it's weird because it's like hidden, kind of.
Yeah, they do.
But anyways, I was going through to see if I could add it to the Command Center, and there is just so much shit in those codes, like just a million different, like generally you have like the game and then you can launch it.
Executable file.
Yes.
Executable.
And I don't think it had that. I think it had like all these folders and shortcuts and this goes to that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like I could see like campaign was a different pathway than like the online. Like I could kind of see that in the different files that they had. So I was like, this is a mess. Maybe it's not as bad as I like, because again, I don't know anything about it, but just from a audience perspective, I'm like, this is not organized well.
I'm worried too because, and we'll get to the good stuff in a second, but like, I mean, the campaign crashed on me.
I haven't had that happen yet.
6, 7, 8 times. And
again, I didn't play Modern Warfare 3 because I refused, but I did play Modern Warfare 2 of the new ones.
Yeah, and that crashed
and
you all the
had
time.
crashes. Yeah. I did not.
Oh, I thought it crashed on you.
Not on the campaign, but on the multiplayer, like I was fine for the first stretch of it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once we played long enough, I started having horrific issues.
Yeah. Yep.
Like where I was like flashbanged at all times. Like the lights were all messed up and then the game would crash on me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I kind of had the inverse effect. Like yours got better over time, I got worse.
But that makes me worried because it's like, okay, like let's say, well, you don't really like zombies, but like if we were playing zombies and it crashed,
yeah,
just
lose your progress.
all progress gone.
Yep.
Unless somebody is still in there and hopefully you get back in or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can rejoin.
Yeah, and multiplayer is the same thing. Like it's like, oh, great, I'm having an awesome game, which I had plenty of times. It crashes and it's like, oh, and like you go online and it's like, here's 15 things you can do to see if it like go into the command code and do this. Oh, and that makes me more angry. Where it's like, oh, well, first you have to go in and disable this, then run as administrator and do all. It's like, no. I shouldn't have to do any of that.
Yep.
That's not a me thing. That's you guys need to fix your stuff.
Yeah, and it's got to be reflected in the score too.
It's the same problems.
Yep.
Every year.
Yep. Agreed. It's super frustrating. They have you would think that they have the budget to fix these issues, and they have to know they're issues.
Yeah.
Like we can't be the only ones complaining about this. But and I guess maybe it's a PC thing specifically because I'm sure on console it has to be more streamlined, right?
Oh yeah, it has to be.
So that's a smaller subset of people than if you had issues on console, I'm sure there'd be a giant uproar. But
yeah,
especially with something like Call of Duty, but it just reminds me of Madden.
Yeah.
Where it's like all the focus goes into Warzone and multiplayer and the loot boxes and stuff. Like your theory on your game will crash, but not when you're in the store.
The
won't
stores
crash then. It'll be the most
for
beautiful 240 frames you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
The animations are spectacular. Like it's just so frustrating. Like the reason I compare it to Madden is because they do the same thing. They just do the Ultimate Team stuff, which they make $1 billion on it, literally.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to put all their time and effort in it because the consumer at the end of the day, that's what they're gravitating towards.
Yeah.
But they put no effort or bare bones effort into the single player experience of the franchise mode or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just that I just see the same parallels there. Like it's so frustrating because there's so much potential.
Well, that's the thing is I would say the campaign for Black Ops 6 is good. Like I enjoyed it. I think does it always hit? No. Is it sometimes convoluted as heck? Yes, because I think they struck gold on the first couple and they're just like, oh, it's super crazy and the numbers and all that stuff. So it's they try to be weird,
right?
Which is fine.
Yeah,
but I haven't gotten a sense of a campaign where they just had a bunch of ideas and they're like, let's just do this. Oh, let's try this.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let's go here and do it. Since Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is a better game, at least campaign-wise, because I haven't played multiplayer yet. But and probably multiplayer. But
I was going to say, it's probably not beating it.
But this game, they do a bunch of stuff where it's like you're not just the classic run. And it opens up run and gun. You're on the back of a thing. You're shooting down choppers and you're doing the normal stuff.
Right.
But then there are these stealth things where I stealth through this whole map and it wasn't frustrating at all because it's like, oh, if you break stealth, all right, just go loud, whatever. And it was fine. You could beat that way. And it was they handled it very, very well. And the cool thing was, and you'll get this later on, where it's like, hey, here's a more open map with several objectives.
Yeah.
But then each objective, there's 2 to 3 ways you can deal with the objective.
Well, I did get that in the one mission with the
gala. Yeah,
the gala.
Exactly. And it's the exact same thing.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. They definitely were trying a lot of new ideas. I think a lot of them were pretty interesting. They didn't all hit for me. Like the safe house, and we were talking before we started recording, was a little bit... It's not bad. It's just a strange... It seems very not Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it detracted from the experience.
Well, so the safe house is closer to what they did. I don't know if you played Cold War, but they had that in Cold War.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Call of Duty,
which is interesting because it's I consider that a more immersive experience going mission to mission than just, okay, you finish this mission, okay, you're coming in on a chopper on the next mission and the next mission and the next mission.
Well, yeah, I think the Treyarch storyline is much more conducive to the style that they're trying to display here, where it's a little bit more, spies and like there's a little bit more narrative there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the Infinity Ward things, I think they gotten away from what works, which is like the war stuff and like more straightforward thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of always been my impression of it. But I think it's really interesting. A lot of choice in the missions, at least that I've been playing so far, which I really like. I always love stealth. I mean, stealth's always the best. You're always going to get stealth.
Yep.
I don't know anyone who would go loud. I would love to see the breakdown of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I actually really like the characters too. Like I thought I wasn't going to give a shit about like anyone and stuff, but it's really well voice acted.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like the animations, like the character designs, things like that?
I think they're good. There is a very clear, and I didn't notice this until towards the end when they had a couple more like rendered cutscenes.
Yeah.
And it was very like,
this
this looks real good.
Yes,
and
right.
then it goes to like, this doesn't look as good.
Yep. Right.
That was more towards the end. But I think overall, I think the animations are fine. Like, it kind of locks you into certain things, like a la like Fallout and Skyrim type of thing.
That's very not Call of Duty either.
It's not, but it forces you, and the fact you can't skip ahead too.
Yeah.
So like as you're talking, you're forced to listen to the dialogue and see the animations.
Right.
For better or worse.
Right.
I think it made me actually care about the character more.
Okay.
But for people who I just want to go and fight and shoot things.
Yeah, they might get
probably
a little frustrated.
Yeah. I thought it was well done overall. I liked them.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm actually surprised that I'm a little bit more invested than I initially thought. Like I booted it up and was like, all right, here we go. This will be fine to turn my brain off. But again, I think the voice acting is really well done. I'm kind of getting more connected with the characters.
So you're coming up on a part that either you're gonna like really like it, or you may like, what are they
stupid.
What are they doing?
they send it.
Yeah. And I think I went the thing of like I just sat back. I was like, huh. And like it was, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was actually really good. Yeah, it's like, oh, here are new mechanics.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah. So if you go in just like, this is dumb, but okay.
Yeah.
Then I think
that's kind of the mindset I'm having. So I'm like, I'm super lost in the story because I played Black Ops 1 and 2.
Dude, I watched the whole recap.
Did you
and
really?
It has nothing. I watched a 40-minute recap, and it's like...
Well, they brought up Mason and Hudson. I was like, I know those guys. I know those guys.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter.
Those are the guys I know. It doesn't matter. I didn't realize they were dead, by the way.
They both died.
When?
In
3?
2, I think.
Oh, I don't remember 2. I played 2.
I love 2, and people were like, "Oh, it's not as good as 1 and stuff." And I thought 2 was great.
The 1's the best
because Woods
is old, and he's like telling you,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was they like that. I think it was 2 where they have this guy come out and Woods is like sniping on the whatever.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's killing the bad guy.
Oh, and then
it's like, oh, it's Mason.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't remember the story of 2. I remember the story of 1. One's great. One of the best stories, honestly, in the whole compilation.
It's really good, and then you just try to be weird, and it's like,
they're like, oh, remember the numbers. Yeah. I'm starting to see that too. There's like some instances where they say some words, it's like, and it's like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be.
But 2, JFK is literally, or was that the first one? I forget if it was 1 or 2. When JFK is literally like talking to you, and you're just like, oh crap, that's cool.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like, you see Bill Clinton forever away or something.
Far away. It's like, that's all right.
Yeah, it sets the time. Yeah.
I think it is a cool, like the Gulf War, and it's I think it's cool. It's a cool setting and things like that. I did want to mention though, the music's excellent. Yeah. Excellent music so far. I've been really digging it. It's been pretty high octane, but it jumped out at me. It wasn't like I noticed it specifically. I was like, oh wow, this is like, so in preparation for our game of the year, it's definitely one I'll have to take a look at.
I'll have to go, but I wasn't as taken with the music. Now, to be fair, I normally turn music down in Call of Duty, so that might have been a detriment to me. Yeah.
It's specifically the action scenes.
Okay.
That I noticed it, but I thought it was really well, or it is really well done so far. It's
for me, like the sound design is really, really good.
Yeah, that's what Call of Duty is kind of the
their
calling card.
You'll understand what I'm talking about again in a little bit.
Yeah.
It gets like, well,
Okay.
I'm sure you'll text me and
text
be
you.
like, what is this game?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Not like Alan Wake though. Really?
It gets.
No.
So you ever play Fear?
Ooh, that's a long time ago, right?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think so.
The big thing
Isn't
with
it like early 2000s?
it's 360.
2005.
360. So
Oh,
Yeah,
then it
maybe.
has to be what? When
at least
360
2000.
come out?
Yeah. So I think it was 2001.
No.
No.
Way.
I'm dumb. I don't know. 2000, maybe 2007.
The Xbox 360 came out 2006 or 2007.
Yeah. Anyway, with Fear, the big thing with that was the surround sound. You would hear like footsteps behind you, and different things like that.
Right.
Call of Duty starts to play with that a little bit.
Dude,
It's pretty good.
I don't like that.
It is. Yeah.
Keep looking behind you. Yeah, so I'm excited to continue with it. I think we're going to play tonight, multiplayer, so I'm excited to get into that. Hopefully it's more, dude, God. Again, the last one I played was Modern Warfare 2, and they got to just make it more streamlined, man. It's just...
Well, Nate was saying like there's less guns, and it is streamlined, and that like unlocking things are just straight up like,
good.
oh, you want the... This is all secondhand. It's like, you want this sight? All right, just get your 10 headshots.
You're good.
Like,
dude.
yeah.
What they tried with the Modern Warfare stuff, and I didn't play 3, but like 2.
So convoluted, man.
Oh, you got to do this gun to do that gun, and it's like, dude, it might have been the worst experience I've ever had.
Yeah,
in terms of like a multiplayer unlocking new items and things. It probably is easily the worst experience I've ever had with that.
3, I can't believe that they put that as 3. Like I could see like
it was an expansion.
It was terrible.
I knew it too. Like I knew just based on like when they were like developing it, it was such a short period of time, and just like the whole air around it.
Yeah,
when it was coming out, I just knew it was going to be shit.
I
never even played it. I was like telling you, I was like, I don't think I'm going to play it.
It was like 3 hours.
Yeah,
it was like I'm talking campaign, but it was like so bad.
It's a joke.
And the campaign was straight up like and this is a perfect example where the campaign in 3 is, we just cut a Warzone piece out and threw you in there and just, I don't know, shoot some guys and something will happen.
Yep.
And Black Ops does something similar, but the polish on it and like your different objectives and what you can do, and there's dialogue, like it's like not even.
Do you get a Metal Gear vibe from that?
Nah,
not quite.
Metal Gear
Not
is
quite
so
there.
much better.
But like a Metal Gear Light, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or a
maybe.
What's that other game? Fuck, can't remember.
So let me put it this way. Like I think you're coming up on it real soon. Is like you're going into Iraq. You get your little Jeep, and then it's like, hey, here's 15 points of interest. Go do whatever you need to do.
That seems really overwhelming.
It's pretty small when you actually do it.
Okay.
I think that was the worst mission in the entire thing.
Oh,
I don't think it was necessary.
Great.
No, but what I'm saying is like if you do that and you're just like, man, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
I think that was still much better than 3.
Yeah.
I think there was still dialogue and it was like cool encounters and stuff, and maybe that's where you're getting a little bit of Metal Gear.
Dude, already it's like very thoughtful on the missions. Like, and like the early missions, like some of them are really short. I like that.
Yep.
It's like, hey, we have an idea here. Let's do it. And they're not trying to pad it. It's like, it feels like a very good length, at least what I've played so far, of like, they develop their idea, it could be a cool mission, and then it's over. Like the boat one where you got to assassinate that guy.
Yeah.
Like that was a really fast mission. Like you sneak around, you get to the church, you snipe the guy, then you get out.
Yep.
Oh, there's a second part of it too. Where
you can go as fast or as slow as you want to do it.
Yeah. Like I could have explored more. I know like there's a mechanic where you need to find cash to upgrade your hideout and stuff, which I never find anywhere, but
yeah, there are like safes and stuff that you can like figure it out.
But I really like the pace of the game so far.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In like the mission that's like drive around in a Jeep and stuff, I think it's paced fine.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you could streamline that if you want to. Like you don't have to do everything.
Right.
But it actually like rewards your time. Nice. Where if you do everything and you take out all of these different sites and stuff, then in the final bit, boy, is it way easier to like do
nice.
stuff. Yeah,
I always like that.
So like, and then like they do that, and then there's like a mission at the end that's similar, where it's like, here are all the different targets.
Gotcha.
You could pick how you do it,
Right.
but how you pick to do it, whenever like kind of like things pop off, it shows your like the results of your actions and your choices, and how you decided to do it kind of influences stuff in a cool way. Like, is it like groundbreaking? No, but was it a very polished, like, I mean, when it wasn't crashing, it ran really well.
Yeah.
Like, good. I don't even think there's ray tracing in this game. I think they were just like, why bother?
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Smart.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Smart.
So it was good. Anyway.
Yeah, so
I'm excited to
We're
play
going
it.
to try the multiplayer, at least what I've played in the campaign. The gunplay feels good. I mean, it feels like Call of Duty. The Omni movement isn't as like impactful as they were like selling it.
See, I
But
think
it
multiplayer is going to...
That's going to really determine it. But it does feel good. Like when you can run backwards, the way they were describing it sounded really stupid. Feeling it though and playing it, it feels a lot better. It does feel more natural, because obviously in the past, or a lot of first person shooters is very linear in the fact that like you can only run forward and then you have to turn, and it's kind of robotic in that manner. And I understand what they're trying to do with the type of movement, like the Omni movement, where it's 3-dimensional. You can strafe like you can in real life, right? Like you can go in any direction in a more at a faster pace, and then you're like sliding around and things. But yeah, the online will be very telling, like how people are going to now take that and break it.
Yep.
People are going to be like slipping, sliding.
Well, let me ask you this: like,
stuff.
are you using your thumb? Like, you have buttons on the side of your mouse, right?
Yeah.
Are you using that to slide? Have you tried that yet?
Nope.
So that, I think, was on by default for me.
Really?
But
I
as
just
I'm
do
running,
crouch.
yeah, but like
I run.
you're crouching and you're like, if you're strafing and sprinting, strafing,
Yeah.
and then you hit it, you can like slide.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, that's really tough to do.
So the thumb button.
So as you're going and you're sprinting, and like, let's say you strafe, if you just tap that thumb button, you're just like sliding. And boy, does that feel good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. And then if you press and hold it, you actually dive.
Yep.
So you have to be careful on like accidentally like jamming
I know.
on it and stuff.
I'm never
but
good with the thumb button, so I always kind of reserve.
That's always my melee. So it's like,
interesting.
it's interesting. Like it's, we'll see how online goes.
Yeah. So anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna play it. Stay tuned for our Call of Duty review.
Multiplayer stuff. Yeah. Campaign.
We gotta play zombies too. I'm not a huge zombie guy, but I'm down to play.
I love zombies. I want to see what my cousin thinks, because I know he's playing it. So
Nice.
that'll be a good thing. Get him in.
Yeah.
And try it out.
Yeah. It's been a while since we played with him, so
I
I'm
know.
excited.
Yeah.
We got to get him in, and it won't be as frustrating as Victor. So we'll be on the same team this time.
Right. Yeah. We'll be co-oping something. Yeah.
Right.
It's fair.
All right. Well, if you made it this far, we appreciate you. Check us out, couchcompany.games. We will have an official review of Black Ops coming up here soon, but you can check all of our other reviews out there, our top fives, all of our episodes, everything like that. And we're going to be here, same time, same place next week. Technically not the same time.
Yeah. Same time. Just still be an hour.
Yeah.
sooner,
All right, whatever. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.